whoever the new council person is in that area will be making the decision and working with you all on that Maxwell, the one on over there. The second one is a follow-up to one that has met before. So that's what we're going to be doing. Miss Rosie, I don't know if you're on yet. You'll have to stop me from talking when you get on, so I'll know when you get started.
I am ready.
I guess she's not on yet. So I want to remind you all, those that are on here, you all may not be in District 33.
How can I get in there?
Well, you may not now in the new one. So you know July the 14th is when early voting starts. So make sure that you look at your cards, your voting cards very well, so that you know which district that you're in, if you're still in mine or if you're in the new one. Because your precincts may have changed as well. And I would hate for anybody to run out to a precinct and then say, well, I'm not coming back. But if that's the case, the best thing is to go ahead and early vote. That's always good. Do I have anybody on here from the mayor's office or anything that I need to recognize?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Rosie, are you on there to start the
Yes, I am.
taping yet?
Can you hear me?
How can I get back in there?
We can, Rosie.
Yes, I'm on.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, I was talking to myself. I had my thing on mute. Sorry.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
it's my I know my beautification commissioner was going to try to get on to fill you all in with some things that was happening over there in the Publix area. Deontay, I don't think he is on yet. Deontay, are you on? Doesn't look like it. Okay.
No, he isn't.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the first group, please, to let them present and kind of talk you through some things. And if you all have any input or what you want to give them, just remember this first one is going to be in the new district. So we aren't making any major decisions on that, but it would be good to give them a lot of input so that when they do have a meeting with the new council person, things will already be in place. And we're going to ask him to make sure that he gives the last group who is coming back to you at least 15 minutes to talk. Okay, so I'm going to back out and please introduce all of your team members, and hopefully somebody will be watching the chat as well because our folks put a lot of things in the chat room. So thank you so very much. I'm backing out. It's your turn.
Sounds good. This is Jeff Hines with Catalyst Design Group, and on here from Century Communities, Derek Ventura is on here, and with our firm, Taylor Mertry is on here as well. So Derek, you have mute off?
Yep. Name's Derek Ventura. I'm the land planning and entitlements manager for Century Communities here in Nashville. Here in Century Communities also is our head of land, vice president of land, Trey Woodruff, and the division president, Zach Adler. Zach will kind of give the intro to the project and Century as a whole and related to
I will be damn.
Thanks, Derek. Again, as Derek said, my name is Zach Adler. I'm the division president here in Nashville. I oversee the entire Nashville market. As Derek said, with us today is our vice president of land, Trey Woodruff, as well as Derek Ventura. I guess giving a quick brief history of Century Communities. Century Communities has been around for 20 plus years as a company, but specifically here in Nashville, we've been here for over 5 years. I will tell you, we have a saying here at Century, and that is that we build a home for every dream. And that resonates with me, and that means a lot to me. With my 20 plus years now in the industry, I will tell you that we never forget the fact that we are building people's homes. That's important to us, that this is a community. And we couldn't be more excited about the Maxwell community. I think we're going to talk about it today, but some of the things in here between the walking trails and the playgrounds and some of the architecture that we've put into this community, it's something to be proud of. We certainly are here at Century, and we're excited about it. And so with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to Jeff for the presentation.
Thank you. So I'm going to screen share here, Rosie, assuming you have it disallowed right this second.
Who is wanting to screen share?
Jeff Hines with Catalyst.
Okay. Hold on just a second and I will give you permission. Well, it's not letting me do that for some reason.
But if you are on the, if you are not on talking while she's trying to do that, check to make sure you all are on mute, because I think somebody isn't. And I know how hard that is because I've left mine on sometimes. But until you get ready to speak, just make sure you're on mute.
Okay, try it now, Mr. Hines.
Got it. All right. Well, let me start with this slide and kind of orient you a little bit of where we are. So this is Old Hickory Boulevard coming over the intersection with Hobson Pike. And right here is Mount View Elementary, Old Hickory, where it comes in, signalized intersection right here. This is Maxwell Road, and the section we're in, you can see indicated with the site right here. We are immediately to the west of the Oliveri subdivision that's being developed right now. And I'll drop in quickly and let you see a, well, assuming I can, let you see a screenshot. This is Maxwell Road. Can you see that? Everybody, I see a head nodding. So
Yes.
This is the Oliveri subdivision that's going in right now. That is immediately to our east, and our site is this right here. That property, it's actually two parcels of land that make up 20.9 acres. And the proposal is all single family homes on here, basically with some larger lots and maintaining the horse fence look along Maxwell Road, and then a little bit of a second size lot that is about 6,000 square feet in the rear. Let me go back to the site plan. So this is the site plan. We were standing right here, kind of looking this way. Previously, this is the Oliveri subdivision, Maxwell Road right here, and the Park Place condominiums are to our south. So we are connecting a road system into Oliveri where they had a road stub, and then with one connection out to Maxwell Road. The lots you see in the kind of tan color here are the larger lots that are about 7,800 square foot lots. And they are all alley loaded from the rear so that we don't have curb cuts coming out onto Maxwell Road, with the exception of where the alley ties in right here. So part of the SP, this is SP zoning, which means the plan you're seeing is going to be locked into the zoning district, the zoning bill. And we are maintaining or proposing new that horse fence along the edge right here. The unique thing about this in working with Metro Planning is that we are preserving out of the 20.9 acre site, we are preserving 3.1 acres of the site in the green here and the tree row edge down through here. That'll be totally undisturbed. We have 20% or about 4.3 acres of green space overall, but 3.1 acres of that is basically just left in existing vegetation. This is kind of the low area right here. There's a little bit of a wetland area and a partial stream right here that's being preserved and left in tree cover. The SP booklet, and walk you through that quickly. Go back to, well, seems to want to jump by that. So this is that preservation exhibit of everything you see in the green color will be set aside in common open space and just maintained as it is. And then the 4.3 acres of open space includes this that has some walking trails in it, but because we're doing some grading in there, that's not part of what is going to be preserved just in its natural state. So you can see this is open space as well, open space here, but that is, will have some grading, so it won't be left in its natural state. The SP plan has two districts, the light yellow, which is one size lot, and those are about 50 by 120, 125 foot deep lots. And these tan lots up here that are 62 foot wide by 125 foot deep. And I mentioned they're about 7,800 square feet. And the plan proposes controls as far as materials on each of the different types of lots. This one being the tan area, 2-story on the homes, controls the height, controls the floor area and the coverage on the lot. So that's one of the things for those of you that have been kind of listening to these zoning discussions previously, the SP or specific plan zoning sets all this out on the front end and makes it a plan certain with that rendered site plan that you saw. And then we also have in here some visioning imagery, and Zach or Derek, I don't know if you guys want to talk through this, but the style of the homes. The other thing that Century is committing to is an amount of brick water tables on the homes, along with some brick accents on the homes, and the other part would be a hardy cementitious paneling. Zach or Derek, do you want to offer any comments about kind of your style and what you envision for this?
Yeah, Jeff, I think that was well said. To your point, all of the homes in the community will have that brick water table, but we will certainly have different offerings that will allow for different heights of that brick throughout it, and the rest of it being that hardy, giving it a nice clean look as we go through the community, and not having each home, giving each home its a unique perspective on it. So it'll be a beautiful community. All of our architecture is done professionally, along with the color packages, to make sure that that community really, really represents what we at Century and the homeowners want as well.
And then I'll go back to the site plan just to point out, so this will also have a playground area here, have walking trails throughout the open space, entry feature up here. We talked about the horse fence. So doing everything we can to kind of maintain that vibe. There are larger lots on the opposite side of Maxwell Road. This is currently zoned agricultural, but the policy for it is, to develop neighborhood evolving. So we are in the lower end of the density spectrum that's set aside in terms of Metro's planning policy. And we, think that this is a good blending of larger lots as we get internal to the development, a little bit smaller. But when I say smaller, they're still 50-foot width lots, which you see in a lot of the residential subdivisions these days. Lets people have a yard area, but not too large a yard area where they don't want to get out there and get on a riding mower or such. So that's one thing I think blending the lot size does for the development. So with that, Zach, if you want to add anything, feel free, but I think that's kind of an overview.
No, I appreciate it. The only thing I would add is thank you to everyone for being on the call tonight. We're excited to get started here and couldn't be more proud of the community. And
I will put the SP booklet up just that we can talk from. One thing we have on the cover is kind of the aerial photograph. you can see this part of the site is basically open pasture right now. We have the tree stand here, and then we have a very mature tree line along this western and southern boundary that we're keeping. So I think we're doing a very good job of being sensitive to what's on the site today and making sure we maintain that with the new development. And with that, Councilmember Lee, offer it if you or any of the others on the call have questions, we're happy to answer.
Yes, do any of the community members have any questions or have any input that they want to offer now? I think Larry Price just asked something in the chat.
I asked several things. Even before the meeting starts, how many people on this call are actually residents of current District 33 or current District 33 and future District 8? I suspect we have a lot of people as presenters and probably more overall presenters for both properties than we have residents, taxpayers.
Well, why don't we just ask, how many are on your team?
Well, for Catalyst, there's 2, but I think there are 3 from the Century Community side. So that would be 5 total.
Okay,
And then we have the other property after this. But I guess on this property specifically, Mr. Hines, you spoke about the protected areas, the green space and so forth. Isn't much of that undevelopable land due to wetlands and sinkholes and topography issues?
Some of it is and some of it isn't, Larry. Planning push for us to basically apply the conservation subdivision standards here. So that upped the area, and under that, areas with trees are also to be preserved, even if they don't have other encumbrances such as a stream or the sinkhole area. So we're keeping more area than is encumbered just with the stream or the sinkhole.
Well,
because
one of
they
the
have
issues that I continue to have with the planning department is that they allow developers to present these areas as amenities when in reality, some of the time during heavy rains, they're going to be wetland areas. And so we want to make sure that we're getting a realistic perspective on what those areas will mean for the potential homeowners.
And I'll offer this. I went back to this plan just so you can see. So the darker green is kind of the area that is the sinkhole accepting of drainage. All the trails, the playground and everything are on higher ground above that area. You can see there. And then we're preserving trees in these other areas and along that property boundary and common open space.
Okay. And also, and I see the response from Zach Adler, but we would like to see more brick. Brick looks richer than the hardy board, and we would like to certainly see more brick and stone.
Yes, sir. And we will absolutely, as we go through, like I said, the minimum would be that water table, but of our elevations, 66% of all our elevations that would be in the community would have a higher level of it. The minimum would be that water table, but then we have a B option that goes up a little higher. And then we have a full brick front for the option as well. So it'll be a nice blend of all of them as we go through there, but I appreciate that comment.
We would certainly like to see more of at least the B option through this community. Could somebody spell out the number of off-street parking spaces? As I recall, in the SP specifications, this is going to have a 20-foot front setback and a 20-foot back setback. Is that correct?
Correct. The back setback where we're preserving the open space here on these lots has been reduced a little bit just because we're keeping, I think it's 25 foot of width, 25 or 30 on just that preserving the tree root zone.
Mhm.
But yes, the standard lot is 20-foot rear, 20-foot front, and every um, uh, residence has a 2-car garage as well.
Okay. What we find is that the majority of residences in existing communities use their garages for storage and not for parking. And with a 20-foot setback, that doesn't give enough space to park more than 2 cars in a driveway with 2-car garage without blocking access for people using the sidewalks with mobility challenges. And, you just can't fit 2 cars, more than 2 cars in those driveways. So what is the plan for parking for people visiting? And also, well, I should also point out, the average home has more than 2.5 cars for the various residents of those homes. We are seeing almost what becomes apartment houses with 5, 6, even 7 cars per house. Many of these people have more than 1 car per person. So, that needs to be baked into these plans. I hear crickets.
Well,
We can ta-
I didn't know if Zach wanted to respond to that from, what they see, but Larry, I don't know when you comment that you're seeing, 6 and 7. I mean, you may be seeing that in certain subdivisions.
Set up an
within
appointment.
there,
I'll be
but
glad to drive you around and show
yeah,
you.
I know, but part of that is the maintenance and the builder and price point and all those things factor in as well. So,
So what is your,
Another
on
piece of
street
that, I
parking
think
is
another
allowed.
piece of that, I'm sorry for interrupting. I think another piece of that then is that is something that was offered as input, so something that you all may have to look at so that when you bring it forth with the next area, the next district, you will already have some answers to those type of things. So the things that you see in the chat and those type of things would be good for you all to go ahead and look at, even though you may not be prepared to do anything with that today, but look at them because evidently they are an issue and will come back up. And so you can be prepared for it.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm sorry for not responding quicker. I was actually, to your point, taking that note down as something that our team can go back and look at and see if there are ways to improve the community with regards to parking. So forgive me for not unmuting quicker. I just wanted to make sure I had that note down.
that's okay. How many current communities does Century have in District 33?
We don't have any that are currently for
Okay.
sale. We
Okay.
have one that's in the permitting process right now.
Okay.
So it's already been
and
rezoned.
this, yeah, this area of town is a bit different from the standpoint that the demographics are such that homes in the existing communities have comparatively attractive price points for the Davidson County area. And so people are buying here, uh, they may be renting out rooms and things like that. I would strongly encourage you to drive through some of the more recent communities, not the long established ones, um, but the more recent communities, especially down in the area of Maxwell Road. the Old Hickory Boulevard area, north of your property, and those types of areas close by, and observe the street parking and observe the setbacks, as I mentioned earlier. I think that may be useful to you.
We appreciate that feedback. We will absolutely do so. We've certainly been through the communities, but that's a different lens that we will have as we go through. So I appreciate that.
Great, great.
Thank you so much, Larry. He always has some good insight on things. Do I have anybody else who would like to offer some input for them to study or to look at doing before their next meeting with your district? Or anybody want to give any type of input or questions? All right, then. I think maybe that is it. Do you all want to give any type of closing remarks?
Just to thank everyone for being on again. Larry, we really do appreciate the feedback, and we'll go through the community with that lens, and certainly make sure that we look at how any way we can improve the community. We're very excited about this, and we want to make sure we're going about it the right way. So thank you, everyone, for being on here.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Appreciate it. Thanks, folks.
Okay,
Thanks,
so
everyone.
before I have the next group to get started and introduce their team and everything, I think my beautification commissioner has come into the meeting. I want to make sure that I turned it over to him to see if there were any type of comments, if he wanted to make any comments. Oh, and just in case you all haven't heard, I'm glad he is on here and listening to your comments, because he is actually running for the council seat, the new District 8. So just to let you all know that. Deontay, are you on here? Well, I thought I saw his name, and if you're talking, you might be muted like I was.
Yeah,
There he is. Thank you.
hey, good afternoon, everyone. I have two things. So we received funding from NDOT and Metro for beautification projects. We did get some items ordered for the community, and then we also have a project at the Kensington 2 community. The area is a community funded community there without HOA. And for the right of way entering their community, we provided landscaping for that particular area that's across the street from the school. So that was a success. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but most districts do not even touch their beautification funds. So we were successful in doing that. One other thing, if you are in Saturday from 7:30 from 7 to 8:30, if you are in the Mount View area to True Green, the Long Hunter Chase Adopt a Road group, they're having a cleanup. I will be out there volunteering with them. Feel free to stop by and help us out.
Great. Thank you so much, Deontay.
Absolutely.
Anybody have any questions about what he was saying? Okay, so we have a little time to go, and we do have another developer that is coming to do like a follow-up with you all. So I am going to turn it over to him now, and Dave and if you have a team, introduce them right quickly, or however you want to do it, and introduce yourself and do a quick overview so people will remember where it is before you start giving comments on what the community said before.
Will do. So thank you, Councilwoman Lee, and thanks, Rosie, for setting it up. It is just myself, and I've got Adam Sager on. I see him on video here with Dale and Associates. Adam, do you want to go first? You want me to kick it off?
No, go ahead, Dave. I'll follow up. You
I
lead it off.
appreciate it. Rosie, if you don't mind giving me access to be able to share, please.
Sure. Just a second.
No problem. Thank you.
Try that.
All right. Let's see. All right. I am able to share. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. So hopefully when everyone can see my screen here. The area that we're looking at here is Carruthers Crossing. So this is in the front of the Carruthers Farm Development, right at the corner of Battle, which runs here in the parcel viewer from north to the south, and Carruthers Road. So these are the parcels that are just there at the northwest corner of the Carruthers Farm community, and part of part of this is currently inside of the Carruthers Crossing UDO. And the other parcel that is the furthest to the west is not currently in the UDO. So kind of want to send everybody, I'll pull back a little bit. This is just to the south of the Cane Ridge Park right there. So I will share, we did come last month and shared some thoughts about the community and just wanted to get more feedback. So Adam and I took that feedback, went back and made some edits to the plan. One of the points of feedback was regarding having a second point of entry and exit into the proposed new community here. So with that, we did look at expanding what is the current driveway off of Battle Road and making that an entrance and exit point right at the northwest corner of that potential parcel. Like I said, there's currently a driveway there, so it's a natural location to put a second point of entry and exit there. Additionally, there was some feedback from one of the team members regarding some of the townhomes and that they may not have fit within the current neighborhood edge zoning. So we also went back and confirmed with the neighborhood edge what housing type would probably best fit there. And per the plan on the neighborhood edge, the two-family homes are what we looked at, or some folks refer to them as duplexes, were ones that we thought would fit well. The design on these units will be larger, like single-family homes. They also have rear entry garages, and they would have two-car garages, and that does fit within the current description for the neighborhood edge. As you move from the townhomes on the right into the center, there's an open courtyard there, which we would keep as, manicured, available for open space. Moving the left or a little bit west there, you see some more interior homes, which are also single-family detached homes. And then as we come out to Battle Road, and what fronts Battle Road are larger single-family homes, similar to the homes that are on Princeton Hills, just to the south there, and some of those larger homes on minimum of 1/3 acre lots that face Battle Road. They have a larger setback. You'll see here with a 100-foot setback off the road, rear entry as well, and really nice, homes right there on Battle Road. So we wanted to incorporate the feedback from the last community meeting. We did incorporate that here. And I'll pause for a second, see, Adam, if there was anything you wanted to add, in addition to what we just reviewed.
No, not much to add. I'm here to help on questions. Dave, I think you hit most of the highlights, the second point of access. All the homes are larger than what we presented last time. We increased the size of those as well. But yeah, we're happy to take questions from anybody.
Hey there, I have a question. This is Ty Briley. Thanks again for taking the time to present this and taking into consideration some of the stuff that we all talked about last time. So what is going to be the main point of entry, like the main point?
Sure. Well, I think the main point of entry will be, just like we presented last time, will be off of Carruthers Road. The access onto Battle, it's not that we can't make that the main point of entry. That just seems to me to be more like the side door, probably emergency access only. We get numerous different opinions on whether people like the second point of access or not. it could be a gated emergency access, or it can be a full-blown access onto Battle, but we anticipate the main entry being off of Carruthers so that it conforms and kind of blends into the Carruthers neighborhood. We're kind of part of it, not just something separate on the side.
Yeah, I think the concern though too is, and this has nothing to do with builders, it's more of the city metro, is the severe traffic issue we have on that main road, speeding, and then congestion in the mornings, and then rush hour morning and the evenings, and this is just it's gonna significantly create more, and it's gonna, honestly, in my opinion, I think will cause backups onto Battle Road for people trying to turn left into their area of living with people. To me, I don't understand why, since this is a separate development, why that main entrance is kind of rooted in an already well-developed and very well-lived area with a ton of residents that are already struggling with traffic and all those concerns when Battle Road, I guess I just don't understand why the push is still trying to make the main entry off of Carruthers Road, considering all the other issues that we're already currently having.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good question. So it starts with the fact that part of this property is already in the Carruthers development. The right half of what you're looking at is already in the UDO. And so to develop this property, what would happen and why we're coming to the neighborhood is to see if this works out. We would be absorbed, the left half of the property would be absorbed into Carruthers Crossing as well, or Carruthers Farms. So it is going to be part of the UDO because part of it is already part of the UDO. So that's one thing. Number two, those are great points about the traffic. We have the opportunity to potentially add a right turn lane, add a left turn lane coming off of Carruthers because we have property frontage now. And we can also look at if I don't live out here, and these are great comments to absorb so that we can maybe adjust some of these things. For example, if you're looking at the access to Carruthers Road now, we could take that further to the right, because then that would be further away from the intersection with Battle and hopefully give a little more queues, longer queue time for people to turn right or left. We can look into the road improvements along Battle Road as well. And so it's good to have that feedback, but to answer your question, Ty, that's the reason why we're coming off of Carruthers, is because it's part of the Carruthers development.
Well, I want to piggy off.
Something regarding that point, please.
Sure.
Thank you. I do live here, and I actually live right across from the model home, so right off Carruthers, and from my kitchen window, there's a river of traffic coming up in the morning, people that are trying to get to work. And we actually have to struggle to get off Fairchild Circle where we live to get anyone to let us in to the river to access to go where we need to go. And the other question I have, and I do apologize, I wasn't present at the last meeting, but we are across from the model home. We're on Fairchild. We're one of the larger homes that back up to this property line. And I'm looking at the diagram, and I'd like to know, because it's already quite elevated behind our house, how many stories are in those units that you're proposing that would be right behind our house?
Sure. So these units would be two-story homes. They would not go up to a third story. They would be two-story homes, and we also would put in some vegetation and some mature trees in there to help, give a little bit of additional privacy from the current homes, from the back of like your homes there on Fairchild to the front of the homes that would, be proposed in the development.
That was a major concern, not at the last meeting, which, as I said, I did miss that, but the one prior, our next door neighbor was so concerned about the fact, and you're welcome to come to our home and visit us, and you could see exactly what we're concerned about And I mean that, I would like you to come. Um, the elevation would be such that we would have none of the privacy we have now in terms of just, looking in our windows from the elevated buildings and then the 2 stories. And so if this were ever to go through, we definitely need some mature plantings to, and we are frankly, I know the saying, not in my backyard, and it is in our backyard. So, I will acknowledge that we're coming from that viewpoint. But, our house is here, and we don't want to see the property value diminished because of what, not that there shouldn't be homes back there. And it's very nice to hear that you're putting in some good sized homes on good sized lots that will be attractive. That's wonderful. We really kind of wish that that's what was going in behind us as well, rather than these dense units that don't fit with what we're living in right here, right now.
Dave, can I say one thing on that? And
Sure.
thank you for those comments. We looked at this plan with the sensitivity to everybody who already lives on Fairchild Circle, because all those homes that back up to the west, that's your backyard, and then it goes uphill, like you mentioned. And so what we would do is start at the property line of that shared property line there. You can see him clicking around. I think that's Dave clicking around. And then we offset that, I want to say about 80 to 100 feet or so. And then we faced the units towards y'all's back door. So you won't be seeing the back ends of a house. You'll be looking at the front of a house if you can see it. Our goal would be to have that, it would be elevated up the hill and do a very heavily vegetated buffer. And then Dave, can you put the drawing back up there? There you go. So you see that sidewalk that runs along the right side of where we're proposing units? That would be a sidewalk running along the front porches of those units.
Mhm.
So we wanted that to be like a little pocket of green space, of vegetation that kind of separates those two.
That's a
And
good
that would
idea.
be to be more sensitive to the people that already live on Fairchild, and also to create a sense of place for the proposed units. So I just wanted to point that out.
I
We're aware.
appreciate that. Adam or Dave, have you actually been, over here in these homes, in our yards and so on?
So yes, I've been over in the community several times and have been, all through the area. Have not been, of course, to your specific home, and would definitely welcome the opportunity to come by with you and walk the yard, things like that.
I would love that very, very much because, we're very anxious about it. We understand, that you have a goal and there'll be some lovely homes up there. And I do appreciate what Adam said about the sensitivity, about the fact that we're already here. And, that you're talking about vegetation and some distance and so on. That's all very much appreciated by us. But I welcome either or both of you to come over and actually see what the possible impact would be for us.
Okay. And if you don't mind, which address is yours, so I can, maybe
So
put my
it's 2392
2392.
Fairchild Circle,
Okay.
and my husband's name is Mike, and I'm Susan. Excuse me. And really, would be very appreciative if you could take the time to come over.
I will be happy to. Is the evenings better, or what's usually the best time to?
Pretty much any time. May I give you my phone number right now? Would
Please,
that
absolutely.
be okay?
And what I'll do is I'll shoot you a text message so you'll have mine as well.
Okay, it's 615
Okay.
962 3520. And
Thank you.
that would be wonderful. I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'll shoot you a text momentarily. You'll have my information as well.
Thank you.
Dave,
Yes.
what is the plan for the black dotted line? Right now, it's a it's kind of like a fence line. It's just got the post there that separates our property from yours. Is there going to be any kind of fencing there, or is it just going to be open? It's the
So
black dotted line that goes and closes that whole property area.
sure. And as of right now, we had not determined whether it be fenced or not. So there's still some input that's available there. Once we put the tree vegetation, that'll kind of give it a natural barrier, and that would be landscaped, of course, in that area. So we have an opportunity to kind of get some input in regarding whether it be fenced or not on that side. We do look at fencing the side that borders Battle Road, but we had not determined whether there would be a fence on the inside of the community there that backs up to the homes on Fairchild.
Yeah, because all you have to do is walk out off that path and just walk a few feet, and then you walk right into our backyard.
Sure.
I don't know what you have at your house. I mean, I don't know if you have that fencing or whatever, but I don't think you have all those apartment buildings there, and just anybody can enter. I don't know if we have to plan to have a fence there. You know, it's some kind of a thought to separate this community from our community. So this is a question.
No, that's a,
Or food for thought.
yeah, very, very valid. And we can definitely look at that together. When I come out and we walk, and we can, kind of talk through that together and take a
Okay.
look and see what best fits.
I saw something that came up from Gilda, I believe. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it, but yes, I ask all new divisions going up now to have HOAs. And also there'll be some very specifics as we get down the line, if you all decide that this is a good fit, that we will put in there too, that have to do with no Airbnbs and no and the percentage of rentals if somebody leaves the community, that type of thing. So that's why, yes, we do do HOAs. Also, when you were first talking, what I was trying to get in on, when you all were talking about the exits and the entrances, that is one thing, that's one of my pet peeves. I really do like to see um, two ways to get in and out of something, and not just for emergencies. Because some years back when we had all of that wind and everything, I was in a situation where I had to go to help people who were in emergency situation, and they were trying to get out, but a tree was blocking their road and they couldn't get out to get to the doctor. So we had to send somebody out there to cut the tree up in order for them to be able to travel. So with the way things are now, you never know what may happen, or an accident or whatever. So I do also like and would hope you all would look at that, not just as something that's just for emergencies, but as a way in, and two ways in and two ways out. Do I have, it's running about 5 minutes to 7. Do I have a comment? Because we'll have another meeting on this. I think that's clear. But do I have a comment from somebody else, or a question that hasn't spoken yet?
This is Dave Whistler. I live in the block past the model home. This property is zoned one house per 2 acres, so you could build 5 houses on it, and we're gone to 55 houses. That's changes the whole character of the neighborhood. You've got duplexes butting up against single-family homes. There's, in situations like this, you usually have a transition from single family and have some green space or something before you have something that dense. And those duplexes are going to drop the value of all the nearby single family houses. It's a bad plan. I'm very much against it. If you come out here at between 7 and 8 in the morning, you'll see a line of cars going by. Whenever 24 gets jammed up, you'll have situations where it's bumper to bumper for about 3/8 of a mile, where, or as far as I can see, maybe even further than that, where cars are just using our street as a cut through, as a bypass from 24. Plus, UPS has a major facility on Walden Road, and there are at least 100 UPS trucks that go down Carruthers every day. I don't think adding more density is going to help the neighborhood.
Mr. Wilson, I appreciate your feedback comments. So I will say on one side, so the parcel on the left, yes, the parcel on the left is zoned at AR2A. The one on the right is zoned at RM9, which is the base density. So the density that is proposed for the entire 12 acres is definitely significantly below what would be if it was RM9 and doing 45 units on one side and then potentially trying to do the same amount on the other side. So I definitely understand that and sensitive to that.
Okay, so the duplexes are zoned RM9?
Yes, sir. The duplex on that entire parcel is on RM9, but we are doing significantly less density than the 45 units or so just on that 1 5-acre parcel that the current default zoning is. So we definitely would not, look at trying to do anywhere near that number of units on there. So the total property on that side is about 30 or so. I think there's 30 total units as opposed to what the 45.
There's 34 that I
Or
counted.
34, I'm sorry. Yes.
I counted 17 duplexes.
Right. So that parcel is part of the RM9.
But on the parcel facing Battle, that's in violation because you've got 9 houses and it's zoned 9 houses in one stretch, and it's zoned 1 house per 2 acres.
That's correct. And that's the proposal. When we came to the first meeting, was a proposal to rezone to be able to do the 9. And those houses, those 9 that are on Battle, are large homes on 1/3 acre lots and significantly larger than the other ones, as well as the duplexes that are there. The cost per square foot and the price per square foot on those duplexes, the buildings themselves will be larger buildings that look like large single-family homes. Is right now the way it is probably going to be a higher price per square foot than the current homes that are on Fairchild. So I do understand what you're saying as far as, trying to protect the property value, but the cost per square foot on those units will be higher than the existing cost per square foot on the current homes that are on Fairchild. So the square footage will be a little smaller for the unit. So I definitely understand that and the sensitivity around that and the traffic coming through. Square footage and the actual property value, I think will be well preserved.
I disagree, but let's.
Okay,
You need to
so
be out and see the traffic on Carruthers in the morning.
No, I understand, and that's definitely duly noted. And we'll make sure we get out that way to do that as well, and see if there's an
One thing
opportunity
that-
to improve that.
one thing that they had promised once before, and we don't know if this is going forward, but if it does go forward, one thing that they had promised before, because I'm having a hard time, we're like put on a list or something, and it's going to be a year or so, but I'm having a hard time with Metro putting some speed tables or some different things out there to help with the speeding through that road. And they had promised then that if they were going to do that they could help us with that as well.
Yeah, Councilwoman Lee, but Carruthers is on the list of the speed enhancements. That is on the current list.
Correct, but they didn't tell me it was getting this year. They were saying it's about last year. So since you know it's on the, is that true?
It is on the list. I cannot confirm whether it's going to happen in
Yeah.
the back half of this year. So you're right. We can.
We've been working on it. We've been working on it for about a year. So, okay. So it is a little after 7, and I do understand with my rules meeting, I got on here a little late. But we are going to have another meeting about this. What I would suggest, the people that are on here, because I know some of you have questions and different things that you want to present that you may not have spoken up about. I'm going to ask you if you would like put some of those things down so that the next meeting we can have them. Because I know the things that you presented, Dave and his crew, will bring them back and talk about that. And know that it is a concern of the community. It may not be the way that you all see it all the time, but the community looks at things differently. And so it's got to be a good fit in the community for us to make this work. So please make sure that you go over the different things. And I would go through the chat if there's anything else in the chat and write that down before Rosie closes the meeting out so that you can have that. And I appreciate you saying that you all will go there in the area. I think I had asked you all before to kind of walk through and talk to some of the people there. because when you're out there with them, that might help them to understand or see what you all see, and it'll help you to see what they see as well. Do you all have any like 2-minute closing remarks that you want to make before we cut her off?
The only comment I was gonna say is that we'll definitely get out there. I'll reach out to, you know, the contacts we have now and make a chance to get out there and look at incorporating some of those things and definitely try to pull a small group together to, you know, try to come up with some opportunities to actually enhance some of the things that, you know, are current challenges.
And whenever you're going to do that, if you share that when you're going to do it, when you all have set up something with Rosie, we could send it out to some of the other folks in that area too, because some of the other folks in that area might want to meet you and talk with you as well.
That'd be
Okay.
awesome. We appreciate it. We'll work through Rosie.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody so very much for taking time to be on this. Remember, before you know it, it's going to be time to go out and vote. And early voting starts July the 14th. You're going to have some council seats on this, the mayor's seat. This is going to be a good race. So I hope that you'll go out and vote early and not wait until August the 3rd, which is the voting day, because you never know what comes up that time. I am going to say to you all, thank you so very much. We will have another meeting on this. It probably will not be very, very soon. Oh, I did want to mention to Miss Tanya, I didn't want you to feel some kind of way, Miss Tanya. I saw that you put in here that you're in District 32, actually, but you have land in 33. Don't even worry about that. You know, when we were doing something back, trying to do something at Starwood, we kind of started the practice that people did not have to be right in our district to be on our meetings. So nobody was saying anything about that. We're glad that you're on the meeting, and thank everybody that's on there. Okay, yay. Okay, so you all have a good night. Mwah. Good night, everybody. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rosie.
Council Lady,
Yes.
I've had my hand up on the screen for like 20 minutes. I don't know if you're seeing that or not.
I'm so sorry. I see it now. Uh-oh. So next time, if you go, oh, excuse me, I don't know if you saw me or not, because I'm so sorry.
I've messaged Dave to, if he would call me, I'll share my comments with him direct.
Okay, that's cool. And if it's something that you want for the folks to know, then you can send it to Rosie, and we can like send it out to the group as well.
Thank you.
Especially when you get your answer, if it's something you think the group needs to know.
All right.
Okay, and I'm so sorry I missed you. Good night, everyone. Did I miss anybody else? Okay, good night.